Tell, Cockerel. He's just a true guy. You'll have a true time. Tell, Cockerel. Leave your troubles at the door. You know the game, you know the score. We're here to have fun, so holster that gun and read the writing on the wall. The predictions league, done every week. It just goes on and 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 on. Why do I always get it wrong? Tell, Cockerel. He's just a chill guy. You'll have a chill time. Tell, Cockerel. Jose gets himself around. Always talking Spurs, wherever he is found, home or away. He always tips to win, throws the form book in the bin with a cheeky knowing grin. Tell, Cockerel. He's just a chill guy. You'll have a chill time. Tell, Cockerel. The predictions league, done every week. It just goes on and on and on and on. Why do I always get it wrong? Every time I play along. Tell, Cockerel. The show is so chilled, your time is well filled. If you want good friendly chat, then here's where it's at. Tell, Cockerel. It just goes on and 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 on. Why do I always get it wrong? Tell, Cockerel. The show is so chill, your time is well filled. If you want good friendly chat, then here's where it's at. Tell, Cockerel.
I was going to say good morning, but we've ticked into the afternoon. So from the UK, it's a good afternoon from me, and it's a good evening from Chang in Malaysia. I believe Malaysia today, Singapore, Malaysia.
Malaysia. Back here with the family.
Malaysia tonight for Chang. So good afternoon and good evening, and good morning if we have any North American people that end up watching. But it's a bit too early for them. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning for them. So, but no, welcome all in. We've not been on for a while, and the reason for that is not Chang, it's me. I've been very busy with life. I've got lots of stuff going on at the moment. So it meant that we've been away from doing these shows on a Sunday. I don't know, 3 weeks, is it?
It's about 3 weeks. 3 weeks is about right. Just before the Wolves game, I believe.
Yeah. So it's been about 3 weeks. So, but welcome in everybody that's here. Got 2 people watching us at the moment, which is superb. Say hello to them, and then we can crack on. You've got Drula says, "Good morning, Jose Chang and the Cockerel crew." And after I spoke, Drula said, "Afternoon, should I say?" Then we've got Tigaro. Says, "Good day, gents. Nice to see you again." Good evening, Tigaro. I hope you are well, sir. I hope you are well. Right. A spoiler alert for everyone before we start. I told Chang just before we come on, so Chang's aware. I did not watch the game yesterday. I was busy in London, and I had to go up to London yesterday, and I was busy, and I went up there, and I was looking on my phone. I just kept looking on my phone, and that was it for latest updates. But I didn't see none of the game live, but I watched the highlights on Match of the Day. So I saw 15 minutes of highlights on Match of the Day. So I've just pulled out a few talking points for yesterday, but Chang saw the game. So I'm thankful that Chang can illuminate us all. And I hope that you guys that are watching watch the game as well. But before we start talking, Chang, I'm going to ask you now, because I've gone on for a bit. Chang, how are you, sir?
I'm doing very well, Jose. Nothing beats having the greatest weekend any Spurs fan could have hoped for, with an early Saturday afternoon win. Again, spoiler alert if you haven't watched it or if you don't know the result. Well, I'm pleased to inform everyone that Spurs have finally broken that hoodoo of not being able to win just before mini international break. That's all I'm going to say for now. But what a way to kick off the weekend, and I'm so glad it was an early kickoff. It kicked off something like 7:30 p.m. So I was able to watch pretty much the entirety of the match until about 9:30 p.m., which is pretty much my bedtime. And yeah, let's just say that I had a good night's rest, sweet dreams too, and a very untroubled sleep, and waking up very fresh this morning. Absolutely cannot wait for the rest of the show to kick on. Having said that, back to you, Jose.
Tigaro. Mate, the Lions went back to back in the AFL premiers again in 2025. Pretty slash this week. So, Tigaro, I remember you won it last year, and you were so elated last year, and you told us all the way that you felt last year. You could only hope that Tottenham could give you that. In May, Tottenham gave you that. So you've had the Lions win last year, then you had Tottenham, and then when you came on after Tottenham had won, you said that you were elated. You knew how it felt when the Lions had won, and then Tottenham had won, and now the Lions have gone and won again. So you've got a treble. You've got a treble in a year. You've seen 3 trophies, 2 for one side and 1 for another. Tigaro, I'm over the moon, and as the Australians say, I'm absolutely stoked for you, mate. I'm stoked for you. He says he's lucky. Tigaro, there's no luck in it. You choose your teams, the teams don't choose you. And you've obviously picked 2 teams that are winners. So there we go. So yeah, well done, Ty. And I hope that your celebrations don't end. Carry on celebrating, because we don't know whether they're going to be our first or last. Like when Tottenham won, we hadn't won anything for 18 years. So you don't know. So celebrate as much as you can and keep all the memories, because it's fun. Right. Start with yesterday's match. If anybody is not aware, we played at Ellen Road yesterday, and it was Leeds 1, Tottenham 2. And it's the first home defeat in over a year at Ellen Road. Tricky place to go. I mean, most of these games, most of these undefeated would have been in the Championship. But to say that they were undefeated already in the Premiership, and I know we're only 7 games in, but they were undefeated in the Premiership. I think they may have played 4 home games. I know Tottenham have played 4 away games, so they may have played 4 home games, and it's their first defeat. But it's still a record that has been broken. Now, yesterday, I'm not going to spoiler alert, but yesterday was a day for records, and we will talk about these records. How did the game go?
Well, the game kicked off as pretty much anyone would have expected at that time. At the time when we kicked off at something like noon British time, it was still shining. The sun was still shining. It hadn't rained yet. So, yeah, both teams absolutely went at it. And there were chances for both ends at the beginning, the few exchanges. This is just before we open the scoring, thanks to some industrious work by Bentancur. Bentancur won possession in midfield, and he recycled it so quickly that Tel was able to break at pace and bearing down on the Leeds United goal with, I think, Sean Longstaff. Sean Longstaff was also bearing down on him. He managed to unleash a wicked shot that took a wicket deflection as well, and that beats the Leeds United goalkeeper for 1-0. But after that 1-0 is where it gets very interesting. Both teams had chances to either equalize in a form of Calvert-Lewin down the other end. He missed, I wouldn't say it was a sitter, but he did miss a glaring opportunity to at the very least get his shot on target. And then that was then quickly followed by Muhammad Kudus, of all players, down the other end. We could have extended our lead before Leeds United then grabbed their equalizer. Now, I'm not going to lay into Vicario. Neither am I going to, say anything about the defense. But on another day, possibly, if it was a home game or maybe under different circumstances, possibly Vicario could have palmed the shot away further from his goal rather than let the ball fall invitingly for Okafor to get the equalizer just before halftime. And that's how the scores stayed, Jose. That's how the half ended, 1 apiece. And that was when the dark clouds started to gather. You could see, I saw it on my telly anyway. I could see it getting gloomy. You could see that the sunshine was all but cut off by the overcast clouds. And the second half started pretty much the way the first did. Both teams absolutely going at it, trying to get an early second half lead before the hour mark. And surprise, surprise, Muhammad Kudus finally, at long last, after 7 Premier League games and 2 2 Champions League group games, he's finally opened his count for us. And what a time to get it. A goal, I think, around the hour mark, I think it was. This time also another deflection off the cuff, I think, off the cuff of one of those Leeds defenders, and that was the second of our game. And I think it's going to be a big confidence booster for Kudus as well, as it is going to be for Tel. Both of them getting these goals. I did say during the pre-match pump-up over on We Are Tottenham TV that I expected both Kudus and Tel to open their accounts for the season, and they obliged. And I also got my 2-1 prediction correct for today, so I'm very glad for that. And there were some nervy moments towards the very end. Vicario made up for his error in the first half by saving us towards the very end. If you had watched the highlights, I think one of the highlights sometime in injury time would be a very vital save by Vicario, getting down low to his left to push out what looked like a certain equalizer for Leeds United. And I'm thankful the scores remain the same to the final whistle. So with that, we end the match 2-1 winners. I'm so glad we've finally broken a hoodoo. What's it, 2 years now? Something like 9 or 10 consecutive matches not having won or even avoided defeat just before an international break. And lots of positives, absolutely lots of positives. I will go into these positives later on as the show goes on, as we go through all the other talking points. But yeah, what can I say? That was quite a complete performance. Yes, we still have work to do. Yes, we still have errors to rid ourselves of and iron up our defensive strategies on the pitch. But otherwise, a great shift by everybody involved. Even those coming off the bench, Richarlison put in a great shift as well when he came on for Tel towards the end, as did Kevin Danso. Rather surprisingly, Thomas Frank, he knows how to make his substitutions, and he made them early to see out the match with 3 centre backs. Kevin Danso coming on towards the end, and yeah, long may this continue. Long may we bring in the changes whenever necessary, either to see out a match or to try to find a way back into the game. And couldn't be happier for the lads. And what a way to kick off the weekend, as I mentioned earlier. Hope everyone is feeling, elated with that win, and hopefully we have a full complement of squad players to call upon after the international break is over. Having said that, back to you, Senor Garcia.
Chang, we have Kate here. She says, big up Jose and Chang. Good afternoon, Kate. I'm going to say I hope Jim feels better. I can see the comments in there already. Yeah, Keep him wrapped up. Keep him warm, Kate. I'm sure that you'll look after him. And Ellie is also here, says, hello, Jose Chang. Sorry, can't join you today, darlings, as I've got one of Theo's brothers here. I was wondering why the two other people I'd invited didn't come on, and you were one of them. Graham is here, says, good morning. It's afternoon for me, Graham. You must be in North America, because Graham says, good morning, Jose, Mr. Chang. Hope you're well. I hope you are well this afternoon, Graham, if you are in the UK. You may well be abroad, but if you are, it's going to be that side where it's earlier than morning. It's early morning still. We also have Jesse's here. Good morning. Good afternoon to you, Jess. He says, big up, Jose Chang. Good afternoon, Jess. I hope you're well. I can see the comments between people talking about the game yesterday. Let me see if there's anyone else here. I'll pass it back to you. I just want to make sure that I've said hello to everybody. Yep, I have said hello to everyone. Sorry, Chang, go.
No, nothing. I just wanted to add, since Jesse is here, thank you very much for being on the weekend preview with me, Miss Kate, and Mr. Boxel, Miss Jessie, on Friday afternoon, 12:30 for the weekend preview. What I will say yesterday, Miss Jessie, if you're still listening, with regards to the Leeds United and Spurs game at Ellen Road, I think Leeds United are on the right path to, at the very least, staying up or at least avoiding relegation for this particular season. I saw everything that most Leeds United fans were looking for, in the fact that you can score goals when you want to, and Calvert-Lewin just needs the games to find his goal scoring touch again. And better luck next time. Better luck next time in your league campaigns, and looking forward to welcoming Leeds United to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for the return fixture as the season progresses. Having said that, back to you, Senor Garcia.
I've got a feeling that we play Leeds. I know, in fact, we play Leeds towards the tail end of the year, and I think that Colin is planning to come over, and that's the game that we're aiming to go and watch, is the Tottenham Leeds game. I think he's around. He's over and he's coming into the UK, or his plan is to come to the UK. And the dates that he's given me so far, it appears that the only game that he can pick, or he can go to, the home game, would be the Leeds game. So I'm sure the Leeds game is towards April, May next year. I can't remember the dates now, but it was a conversation I had about 3 weeks ago with Colin. Right, I'm going to jump, and I'm going to go to, right, the stats, because I didn't watch the game. Like I said, the stats say that we won ugly, right? So let me see if I can find the stats. Hold on. There we go. Right, the stats say that we won ugly, and I looked at the stats yesterday. Some people will turn around and say, yeah, stats. I'm not favouring the stats for anything. I'm just, I looked at everything because I missed the game. And when I looked at everything, the stats were just, absolutely bonkers. I mean, looking at this, it looks, Leeds United had most of the ball, 56.5% of the possession. And then looking up a bit further up, you've got the match momentum. And the match momentum, some people have told me that the Spurs played better in the second half than what they did in the first half. Is that because they were defending? Because the match momentum seemed to be in Leeds' favour in the second half. Big time in their favour. And I'd say in the first half as well, it looks like it was more in their favour as well on the match momentum.
Okay, I wanted to say this earlier during my early review of the game, and now that I have the opportunity to go a bit more on what I saw, basically I would say that when I saw Palinia and Bentancur being named in the starting 11, the first thing that came to mind was that Thomas Frank has set us up to be counter-attacking, which would go a long way to explain why he started with Tel up front and Odebeer and Kudus on either wing to sort of lead us into a counter-attack whenever we are able to break at them. And that's how we actually got the first goal. The first goal was thanks largely to Bentancur, winning the ball up high, up the pitch, and releasing. I think it was Tel. Yes, Tel. He released, and that's how we got the first goal. And that's why you see that little patch there, the little patch of possession that we had in the first half. That's where we got our goal. But unfortunately, they then got the equalizer, and we tried to sort of get the lead back towards the end of the first half, which is why you then see us having possession again before halftime break. But unfortunately, we weren't able to do that. We were, however, able to get the second goal sometime around the hour mark, which is that again those few little bars of a possession that we had just before the hour mark, and we scored the second, thanks largely to Kudus. And then after that, it was just all Leeds United. They just threw everything at us to force an equalizer, which is what prompted Thomas Frank to bring upon Brennan Johnson and Kevin Denso in exchange for Odebeer and Tel, and also I think Richarlison came on. And thankfully, we were able to see out the match, and that's how the game went about. And before I pass it back to you, Jose, I just have some breaking news. The Spurs
1-0.
ladies,
Yeah.
that is correct. Spurs ladies have just only taken the lead against Brighton in the Women's Super League league game, which is going on now. It just kicked off just as the show began. So we will be keeping you updated, hopefully till the end of the 90. So come on, you Spurs ladies, do us proud. And having said that, back to you, FA.
So I mean, as I said, I didn't watch the game yesterday because I was away in London. But if I look at this, I mean, from the screen you can see the goal that Tottenham scored was when there was yellow, not much yellow, but there was yellow. So it looks like it was against the run of play and match momentum. Leeds scored when they had momentum because there's a whole raft of yellow there. And they scored when they had momentum. And if I look at Tottenham again when they got the second goal, it comes under yellow. So it means that Leeds had slight momentum at the time when Tottenham scored. Would that be fair, Chan? Because I didn't see the game.
Yes, I would say that's a fair reflection of your analysis, but I would say that at that time, under those yellow bars that you mentioned earlier, I think after we had taken the lead again, we sort of sat back and just reverted to our game plan, which is to wait for Leeds United to come at us before we then try to hit them on a counter, much like the first goal. And I believe, I could be wrong, but someone here in the chat, if you were at the stadium, or if you had seen the game live on the telly, you can correct me here. I believe that the whole momentum of the game actually changed rather drastically once the rain came down. You could see that once the pitch started becoming wet and the ball was just zipping around without much friction between grass and the ball, then that's where we took a more guarded approach. We didn't want to commit the bodies forward because then it would open us up at the back. And having already taken the lead, we just needed to see out the remainder half hour or so of the game, which is how it ended. And yeah, the weather did play a part in that swing in possession and the way we tried to just see out the match without conceding a second. But I would say this: I wouldn't look too much into these statistics because I think Thomas Frank is the kind of manager who knows how to play to our strengths rather than just commit players forward without a game plan. That's not me trying to take a dig at any of our former managers, but yeah, I am glad that we have a new manager right now this season. Having said that, back to you, Senior Garcia.
So it says that Leeds had 22 touches inside our box, and we only had 18. Our goalkeeper made more saves, 3 saves compared to Leeds' keeper's 1. We committed more fouls, 12-10 against Leeds. Leeds had more corners than us. Leeds had more shots than us, more on target than us, more off target than us. The attempts outside the box were 5 each. Both teams hit the woodwork. We were offside twice, and Leeds were offside once. And then all the expected and all the distribution, everything was in Leeds' favour. So, well, sorry, it says total long balls 48 to Tottenham. yeah, it looks like everything. Tackles one was in Tottenham's favour. Total clearances in Tottenham's favour. It looks like, you look at these stats, and I know stats don't mean much, but you look at the stats, and it looks like it was a real tough game. It looks like it was a real tough game.
Yeah, it was a tough game, and I think again that's why I said it earlier to Miss Jessie. As long as Leeds United, Nigel Farker, and Leeds United, as long as they keep on doing what they're doing, I think they should be safe. I think they should be fine. They should avoid relegation as long as they can keep the squads fresh and ready for the next league game. They should have enough in them to score enough points to survive relegation. And also, full credit to Thomas Frank for drilling it into our players to be able to see out the game, not give away possession needlessly. And there was some improvement from what I saw anyway with Vicario's distribution, his overall command of the box, but there still is that odd mistake, which is what led to their first goal. The handling of shots by opposition players and not clearing the ball in the rebound. But I mean, these are things that are part and parcel of the game. So lots of positives for both Leeds United and Tottenham Hotspur. But overall, I would say that we will come off the happier of the two teams from yesterday's game. And yeah, long may we keep up with this winning form away from home, which is where I think will make or break our season, especially if we are looking to qualify for Europe next season via the league rather than any of the cup competitions. Having said that, back to you, Senor Garcia.
Just to say that on Thursday, when we did the prediction show, I gifted out 10 memberships on Thursday. I've gifted out a further 10 memberships today. And these memberships have gone to Kuva, Carl Simpson, Lee Wiskid, Bill Greenwood, and Swim Master. And then the further 5 that I've gifted out have gone to Richard, Jack Spurs, Side Dancer, Destiny 5, and Phil Coys. So I gifted 10 on Thursday and I've gifted 10 today. And hopefully some of these people will be able to come in and play Predictions League because they're now members. And as I've said that, Tigaro very kindly has also gifted 5 channel memberships. So 15 gifted today's show. And these have gone to Leo Starman, Nape the Ape, Spotlight on Spurs, Harmless Potato, and Mike Zappa. So Swim Master's come in and thanked me for the month membership. You're more than welcome, Swim Master. I can't select who they go to. I can only gift and they'll go to people at random. But I will say that the people that I've seen, the majority that these people have been gifted today and on Thursday are people that generally tune into the show, the majority of them. So well done if you were lucky to be gifted one. Tigaro says quite clearly, yeah, he says, accept the scoreboard. Accept the scoreboard. Nape the Ape has come in and said, thank you, sir. So that would be to Tigaro, because Tigaro gifted you Nape. But welcome back as a member. The next one is then, right, I've seen, we talked about the first win after the international break, but I'm going to leave that to last, right? What I'm going to talk about, or what I wanted to talk about, Chang, next is Tel's first Premier League goal. This is a player that's been much maligned by a lot of people within the fan base. And
for me, I'm so glad he got his. For me, I'm so very glad he got his first Premier League goal. I think it's been a long time coming. I was just only trying to check the stats from last season to see if he got himself a league goal for us, having signed on loan from Bayern Munich. But unfortunately, I can't find anything. So probably he hasn't yet scored for us in the league, which is all the more better for him to do it now under Thomas Frank. And I hope this is just the first of many more league goals for him. For me, I think he should, if he does carry on with this form, as long as he is invested in the team under Thomas Frank and he's bought into the ideology of us just going for goals when the opportunity presents itself. I honestly believe that Tel should be able to chalk up at the very least double figures for us in all competitions this season. So hopefully this will be the first of many for him. But yeah, I think for me, I think this is a very much needed confidence booster. And if he does keep on this goal scoring form, you never know if you never know if he could be even up for a surprise call up to the French national squad for the next summer's World Cup. I know it's a long shot. I know it's a long ways to go. He has a lot to prove, and even then, there is absolutely no guarantee that he will make it into the the French national team. But who knows? You never know. And yeah, I hope that this goal that he scored for us yesterday, I hope that would prove to be the springboard for him now to just go on and make a name for himself in Lily White. Having said that, back to you again, Sino Garcia.
So he played 13 Premiership games last year, whether it's starting or a sub. He made 13 appearances. He scored 2 goals and he got 1 assist last year and 2 yellow cards in the league. This year he's played 5 matches, whether it's substitute or starting games. He's appeared in 5 games and that was his first goal this season. So that's why I said Tel's first Premier League goal. I meant this season, not overall, but this season. And as I was saying, Chang, he's a much maligned player. A lot of people give him stick. People say that he's not good enough, and he gets the wrong end of some of the fan base. He's come to a club, he's made the signing, he's come to a club, and not for no fault of his own, but because of the mismanagement in previous years, and it's been a decade of previous mismanagement, we've ended up where we can't field 25 players in a European squad, and someone had to be taken out of the squad, or one foreign player had to be taken out of the squad, that was fit and available, and he was the person that was selected. I'm sure that when he signed for Tottenham, he didn't sign for Tottenham and expect to not be in the European squad. So, it must be tough for him because he's not playing in Europe. So when the European nights are there, he has to support the team, from the benches. But he's not playing an active part apart from supporting the team on the benches. And then, I saw the goal yesterday, and he took that goal with confidence. I saw that he hit the crossbar with a header. For me, it was confidence. The only way you're going to get confidence is by playing matches. Odebert's starting to be selected now, and Tel's starting to be selected. And the more you play, the more you get used to your teammates, then the better the better and more confident you'll become. I was very pleased for Tel. I think Tel is a decent player. I'm not one of these that's absolutely lambasted him. I think he's a decent player. And I think he can become and go forward and become a very, very good player for Tottenham. What you're saying about the World Cup's a very difficult one, Chang, because you've got Bradley Barcola and you've got Michael Elise that play in the positions that Tel and Odebert would probably play in. The forward positions, they've now, even if you're going to play Tel, because Tel plays as a 9, plays as centre forward for the under-21s, they've just called up Jean-Philippe Mateta for the first time. 28 years of age, Mateta's been called up for the France squad for the first time. So, at the end of the day, when I was in London yesterday, and I saw that the lineups had been announced, and I quickly looked on Sky to see the lineups, I thought, oh, Odebert and Tel are both playing, and Richarlison's not playing. And I thought, whoa, fair enough. And at the end of the day, I didn't see your pump up show. I put a like in. I know it was just you and Kate yesterday. And at the end of the day, the one thing I'm going to say is that unlike previously last year and the year before, you could more or less name your 11. But with Thomas Frank, I think Thomas Frank keeps you guessing. You won't know what the 11 is going to be. Thomas Frank will pick, change. Players are getting rested. Players are not being flogged. Players are being rested. The only two players that aren't being rested if they're fit, seem to be Romero and Van der Ven. If they're fit, they play. The fullbacks seem to be getting rotated. The midfielders are getting rotated because Pat Matassar's been involved. So has Lucas Berrival. The forwards are being rotated because Richarlison was on the bench. Johnson, so he's rotating players, and and it's all good for the squad, and it means that everyone's keen and everyone's involved. But I thought Tel, from what I saw, the highlights on Match of the Day, I thought Tel took his goal really, really well. I know it's a deflection, but to have the confidence to take that shot on from that angle, kudos to him. And excuse the pun, but then also as well, he hit the crossbar as well with a header. So, at the end of the day, from what I saw on the highlights and from what I've gathered from looking at comments in all the groups and that, it appears that Tel did put in a shift yesterday. And if Tel does that, if Tel gives 110% like he did yesterday in every game, his confidence will grow and the fans will stay off his back. You have Swim Master says, pleased for Tel, his goal. Hopefully it will help his confidence. I was particularly pleased with seeing Frank and his assistant pushing Tel forward after the match to the front for a fan accolade. Drula says he took that goal well, to be fair to him. Hopefully that will build his confidence. Ellie says Tel made some good movements yesterday, and I thought his goal was fabulous. Graham says both Odebert and Tel were excellent yesterday. We need to remember they are both young, and I see a big future for them both. Look who's here. It's the man. It's the man, Shentan. Shentan, afternoon, Mr. Bossman Jose, and the youngest looking old man, Mr. Chimichanga Chang, the GOAT of international Spurs fans. Hope you're both well today. Yes, we are. And then we move on, Chang. We move on. Yesterday was also, for this season, because he only played for us this season, it was Mohamed Kudus. His first goal.
I think this first goal of Mohamed Kudus also has been a long time coming. I would have rather it sooner rather than yesterday for him to open his account. But better late than never. And I think he found the opportune time to endear himself to the Lily White faithful with the winning goal of the game. And yes, it did come off the calf of one of those Leeds United defenders who was stretching to block the shot, but a goal is still a goal, and you have to make your own luck. In this case, in his scenario, I'm so glad for him for that first ever goal in Lily White. And much like Tel, I hope it's also going to be the first of many, not just for the rest of his Spurs career, but for this season as well. And if him and Tel are able to keep up this, goal scoring form of theirs, again, someone with Kudus' ability, I don't think it's beyond impossible for him to get at the very least double figures for us in all competitions. And another game in which Kudus is proving his worth. He's actually, I would say that amongst all these signings in the summer, he's the one signing which I'm so glad we got over the line, and got over the line earliest, or rather one of the earliest, I think, either just before or after Sakai. So it's great to see Kudus getting his goal. And I'm so glad that we have him in our ranks and not over at West Ham United. And there is also this argument now, and bear with me, Jose, and also people in the chat. I have a feeling that Kudus might just turn out to be the single most important player for us this season. That is until we can get Xavi Simons really firing and creating those chances as a number 10. And hopefully Hopefully, Kudus returns from the international break, fit and firing, because we are going to need to call upon his services when the international break is over, because we also have a League Cup fourth round away at Newcastle. That would be one that I'm absolutely looking forward to, and one I think that I would really want Kudus to impose himself more than any other game this calendar year, just so we can get past that fourth round against Newcastle. So again, glad for Kudus to get his first Premier League goal. May it be the first of many. If he keeps this up, I can see him easily scoring double figures for us in all competitions. And yeah, long may his goal scoring form for us continue throughout his first career. Having said that, back to you, Senor Garcia.
So he's played all 7 matches in the Premiership this year. It was his first goal yesterday, and he also has 4 assists. He had 3 before yesterday, but he's been given the assist for Matty Tel's goal as well. So he's played 7. He's got 1 goal and 4 assists. So well done to Mohamed Kudus. However, like I said, I didn't watch the game yesterday because I was in London. So I didn't watch the game yesterday. But what I'm going to ask you is, and before I ask you, let me just say hello to Mr. Shear, who's just come in. Good evening to you, David. I hope you're well. Sorry, I missed your call yesterday. I was in London. I couldn't take the call. But I will catch up with you, sir. I will catch up with you. Graham says, I've just ordered the new away shirt for Kudus 20. Need I say more? Drula says she's happy for Kudus. Really deserved it. What a player we have there, says Drula. And David Shear says it was a damn good game. Well, David, it's the second game that I've missed because I did not see Wolves last week because I was in Spain. So I missed the Wolves game last week as well. So there's 2 games that I haven't seen. I've seen the highlights of both games, but I haven't seen them both live in the sense either being at the ground or watching it on TV. So this is the second game I missed, but I was happy to catch up with the highlights last night. With it's something interesting you said, because obviously, as I said, I didn't watch the game, right? And because I didn't watch the game, Chang, what I will say is that from what I saw yesterday, and it was only the match of the day highlights, and from what I've read from a lot of people in a lot of comments and chats, is that they reckon that Xavi Simons playing in the 10 role yesterday, or just behind the striker and that, they said that Xavi Simons played well in that role and that he did excel. He may not have been as sexy as, but he drew players away and that he was feeding and he was creating. Would that be fair? Because I didn't see the game.
Well, I think that would be fair to say, but I think Xavi Simons is more than just a creator. That is, until we can get someone like Odebeer really excelling in that left wing role. For me, Xavi Simons did more than just a number 10. He did drop back deep when called upon to sort of stem the flow, or rather the onslaught of Leeds United attack, both in the first and second half. And I think it's going to take some time for him to properly gel and form a sort of understanding with his front line of Odebeer, Tel, and Kudus. That is assuming that Kolo Muani isn't ready anytime soon. So I think there still is a lot of work in progress to be done for Simons as far as being creative in the number 10 is concerned. But yeah, lots of positives, lots and lots and lots of positives for me that I saw of Xavi Simons yesterday. Still far too early. I feel far too early to be too judgmental on his impact for us. But yeah, the signs are there that he will be a very big player for us in time to come. And I think the goal, even Simons's goal, I think that is coming soon. He just needs that opportunity. He just needs that sniff at goal. I believe he should be able to even get 10 GAs for us this season, double figures. But yeah, Still lots of work to do for Xavi Simons. Hopefully it won't be before long before he finds his goal scoring touch. We know he can provide the assist, but it's his goals that I believe should be what unlocks him in the team for us, even in that number 10 role. So hopefully, it won't be before long before we see Xavi Simons get his goal for us, much like Kudus and Tel. Having said that, back to you again, Senor Garcia.
Good afternoon to Dan Davenport. It's been a while, Dan. I hope you are well. He says, I didn't see the live game either as I had other commitments, but I saw the highlights of Match of the Day on Sunday morning. And he also says Leeds are not the team they were when they had Bielsa in charge. And that is correct. They're not open. They're not gun-ho and open. And actually, Leeds look very effective. I like the German player they've got in midfield. I think Okafor could be a really good player for them. And I know he hasn't scored loads of goals and he had a couple of chances yesterday. But I think you keep Calvert-Lewin fit and he will score goals for Leeds. I said this when he was at Everton. Calvert-Lewin, keeping him fit, he will score goals. He's a very, very dangerous striker. And yeah, it's just his body. His body doesn't do what it should do to allow him to be on the pitch. If they can get that right with him, then DCL would be a real decent player for Leeds United. And Joe Rodon played well yesterday. Ex-Tottenham, but he played well yesterday as well. So, at the end of the day, Leeds, even before the game yesterday, Leeds look good enough to compete in the Premiership. And when I say compete, I mean compete. So that means that, competing means that they're not fighting relegation. I think they've got a good enough team and good enough squad. And their manager knows the team inside out because he's been there a few years now. And, at the end of the day, give him the tools to perform the job and he will do a good job for Leeds. So, yeah, it's tough on Leeds because they lost the game yesterday. But by all accounts, from what everyone's saying, it was a real tough game. Some people have commented here in the chat to say it was an old school match. So it goes back to an old school game. And, at the end of the day, that's what you want to see. You want to see competitive games. You don't want to see runaway like it was last year, where the three that came up were the three that went down, and you knew that they were going down before Christmas. We don't want that. You want it to be a competitive league. And every year, apart from last year, every year the league condenses. The league condenses. And, at the end of the day, we'll see what happens to Leeds. Tim Master says, I thought Tel and Odegaard would have better matches when I saw the team sheet. As they are particularly good mates and within the French squad, must help when younger playing with your mate there. Yeah, to have someone to bounce off, then it does help. But then also, I think there are other players around the club. I think there are other players around the club that are also helping them bed in, so to speak. Dan says, some sad news from Saturday. Ex-Portsmouth owner and close friend of Harry Redknapp, Milan Mandaric, passed away yesterday. He was the owner. I remember him being the owner. Here he is. Look, there's Blaine. He's put in a super chat. Good old Blaine. Says, Jose, sorry, mate, not feeling great this morning. I've worked to prep for being away next week. So you and Chang got this. Great as always. No worries, Blaine. We'll get you on the next one, mate. We'll get you on the next one. But I'm hope you feel better. I really do, Blaine. I hope you feel better, mate. And yeah, strength to your son. And we will see you soon. We'll see you soon. Come back fighting fit, my man. Come back fighting fit. Hopefully, a tonic you needed was yesterday, 3 points at Ellen Road. Where's the other one? Where we got it? So that then takes us to the hoodoo that we broke yesterday. Well, the hoodoo that we broke yesterday, a win before an international break in over 2 years. So in over 2 years, we've not won. And beyond the 2 years, I just think our record for more than 2 years now has not been particularly good before international breaks. So how good must it have been? What I will say, people, and including Chang and everyone in the chat, before yesterday's game, were you thinking about, oh my God, it's a game before the international break? Was anyone thinking that way yesterday?
I won't lie to you, Jose. That was actually the first thing that came to mind, and it's been on my mind for a good long while. Even after the Bodo Glimt game, I'm thinking to myself, "Oh no, just here we go again, yet another international break, a needless and pointless international break, if you ask me." But seeing as there are very crucial World Cup qualifiers coming up. Well, maybe this particular international break is justified, and that is where I have my reservations on some of our internationals and their performance just before an international break. I had this theory. I did have something to say on the theory that I have of our players, especially those who have international duties with their respective countries, where they sort of reserve themselves, they sort of hold back and avoid going all out and getting unnecessary injuries that would rule them out from their respective national squads, which is where a lot of those players, which I just mentioned, there is a dip in form just before the international break, and that could be attributed as to why we have been performing badly just before international breaks. But thankfully, I didn't see any of that yesterday, not even from the likes of Romero or Van der Ven or anyone else, who are pretty much sure starters for their respective countries in the next round of our World Cup qualifiers. So, yeah, I had that in the back of my mind, and I'm so glad we got that over. But uh, getting that hoodoo broken is one thing. Getting it to stay that way, I think, it's going to be a whole different story. So let's just see what happens with the next game before another international break to see if we have truly broken this hoodoo. But yeah, I mean, lots of positives. Again, lots of positives to be taken from us for breaking this hoodoo. And yeah, hopefully those players which I mentioned earlier, those who are pretty much surefire starters for their respective countries, I really do hope that they come back fit and firing, ready for the restart of the league proper, and also the Champions League once domestic league games are back underway. Having said that, back to you, Effie.
You've got a lot of people saying, hoping that Blainfield's better. Tigaro, supporter of the channel, member for 13 months, says we seem to be on a better path. Come on, you Spurs. Yes, we do. Blaine tomorrow's in London all week and he has to host an event. Big jobs, big shoes. They need to be filled, Blaine. Sure, you're going to have it, mate. You'll have this. You're a pro. You got it. What else we got here? Don't feel sorry for me. It's all self-inflicted. Went out drinking after work on Friday and I've ended up catching a cold. Ooh. Yeah, alcohol sometimes lowers your levels, doesn't it? Yeah, lowers the immune system. Archer says, good afternoon, Hazan Chang and chat. I was one that was half expected defeat before the international break. Must be PTSD for the last couple of years. It's exactly what I said, Chang. You know, at the end of the day, we've broken this hoodoo. And for me, it's not just 2 years. I think it's been longer, but you know, we may have won one or we may have drawn one previously to 2 years ago. But then if we look further back from that one win or that one draw, we probably had a poor record as well going back. So it just seems that we've had a poor record before an international break for years. I don't know whether it's right or wrong, but it just seems to be one of these things that are hanging over us. What's next? What's next? I mean, I looked at the highlights yesterday. Obviously, I can see where we are in the league and that. I've seen the matches we've played. Thomas Frank in his on Match of the Day in his interview, which his interview is only like 90 seconds long. He turned around and said that Tottenham are in a good place. 4 games played away, 3 victories, 1 draw. That's good. When you think about it like that, away, not home. This is not a home record now. This is an away record. That's not a bad record to have. That's decent. That's a decent record to have.
It's a decent record, yes. And when you put that away game at the Etihad against Manchester City into context, I would say it's a good form to have. It certainly does help our league position, which is still currently third as of right now. That is before Crystal Palace play their game. And yeah, this is the kind of form that we need if we are to look to qualify for Europe next season via the league proper, as I mentioned earlier, rather than through any of the domestic cups. And I would say that as long as we keep this up, we should be fine come end of the season. It's the home form now, Jose, which is what we need to work upon. I mean, the Wolverhampton Wanderers game last weekend is all but over. I'm so glad we got that last gasp equalizer through Palinia, but we still have work to do. Don't get me wrong, this is a good place to be in. It's a good start to the season, but the season is long, and we have to keep up this form of either winning or at the very least avoiding defeat on our travels if we are to stand any sort of chance to break into that top 6 or top 7 to qualify for Europe, let alone top 4 for the Champions League. But it's a good springboard to have, and hopefully the lads can keep up this momentum going into Christmas before the before the new year. And looking at our fixtures, the next run of games that we have, fortunately, we have games at home against Villa and also Chelsea, but we also have away games against Monaco in the Champions League and Everton in the Premier League. So we still have to keep up this momentum, especially where our away form is concerned. But yeah, promising signs that we are on the right track to maintaining a good run of games in the Premier League. And let's see where this takes us. Let's see come end of the season where this takes us and how that would translate to our final league position at the end of the season. Hopefully, we will have qualified for Europe next season before the end of the season. And if that is the case, then yeah, I can see the only way forward is upwards, provided we invest in the players that will carry us forward. Having said that, back to you again, FA.
Rob, not good. Good afternoon, all. Haven't been feeling well of late. So season ticket to the hospital for testing coming. Rob, I wish you a speedy recovery. I hope that you get on the mend as soon as possible, and I'm sure that everybody will echo the sentiments that we want you to be 100%, mate. So yeah, please, with my best wishes to you, and I hope that your tests become a positive for you, and I hope that everything you can and all the healing hands that we can give you bear upon you, and that you get through this and come out the other end smiling. So all the very best to you, Rob. What I will say is I was going to ask the question of the I'm going off topic because there's a few people in the chat. All I'm going to say to you guys is that the predictions league this week, people have scored higher than what they did last week. I don't know. Did you do the predictions last week as well, Chang? And you do.
I did do the prediction.
How many points did you score last week? Not game week 6.
I think I only scored like 6 points, and that was thanks to the correct score between the Liverpool game at the start of match week 6 and also the correct score at the very end of match week 6. So I didn't score that well, but I am glad I got some points. But honestly, Jose, my predictions have been ruined drastically by lots of last minute goals. Just on Friday night, I was bang on target for my 2-1 Bournemouth win before Semenyo had other ideas. He scored a last gasp winner. I was also bang on the money for the 1-1 draw between Chelsea and Liverpool before whoever it is scored for Chelsea in the injury. Estevao, yep. He scored a winner for Chelsea.
Guess who got the 2-1 Chelsea?
I was. It must be you. It must be you because you are absolutely beaming about that. I was properly gutted I was properly gutted that the game didn't end one apiece. But I am very, very glad I got the Spurs game correct. I got the scorers correct as well. I predicted both Tel and Kudus to score the 2 goals for us, which is what they did. And I also predicted that we wouldn't be able to keep a clean sheet. Thankfully, it didn't finish 2 apiece to us yesterday. So, yeah, that was the only game that I have got correct. And looking forward to the Brentford City game, as well as the Villa, Burnley, and Everton Palace game. Oh yes,
New,
and there's also
Newcastle
the
Forest, Newcastle
oh
Forest, and Wolves
that
Brighton.
would be tasty. That would be very, very tasty to see if Big Ange survives for yet another week, and whether will he be still in charge after the international break, Big Ange. So all the best to you, Big Ange. Hope you survive match week 7.
No spoiler. There's 5 games to go. 5 games because there's 5 games being played today. So including our 3 bonus games that were played yesterday. Spoiler alert is that Jose has 3 greens this week so far. But there is a player out there who already has 4 greens for this week. There's somebody else that has 4 greens. Yeah, I can see 4 greens for one player already. There's people that have got 2 greens. Yeah, there's people that have got 2 greens. Mr. Shear, let me tell you, right, Mr. Shear, you've got a green as well. I'm just going to tell you, you got a Drooler. Look at that, Drooler. Drooler's a spy, isn't she? Drooler knows who it is straight away. That's got the 4 greens. Did you write everybody? Do you write everybody's down, Drooler? Everybody that plays, because yeah, you're quite right. It's right. You know, you know who it is. Did Ryan message you or something, or are you just copying everyone's? Mr. Ed M. Good afternoon, Ed. I hope you're well. How are you, Ed? I hope you are well, sir. Even Ed's got a green. Yeah, Ed's got a green as well. Oh, he was gloating yesterday. Ed's got a green as well. Drooler, you haven't got a green yet. I know, yes, you have. Drooler's got a green as well. Car, we're doing well, aren't we, this week? This week, Chang, last week, the average was 5.2 points, was the average last week. We had so many people that scored 1. We had one person that scored 1. We had a whole host of people that scored 2 last week, and that was it. But this week, the numbers are already up and a lot higher. Again, without giving spoiler alerts out, and I know there's 5 more games to go, but in Predict the Prem, I have opened up a huge lead in Predict the Prem. If it stopped now, my lead is now 27 points in Predict the Prem at the moment. It was 19 before this weekend. I've now gone to 27. So it just shows that I ain't doing badly. I'm not doing badly. I'm quite happy with the way I'm doing it. David Shear says, Drula is our Nostradamus lol and a nurse and a good cook. What can't she do? Drula is superb. Drula can do everything. And she's another valued member. All of you are valued members of the community. But some of the ladies that we've got in the community, got to give them their props, because in what tends to be a male-dominated area, we have got some lovely women within our community. The more, the merrier, I'd say. Chang, so today, Shemtan's giving me grief again. Shem, even you've got a green so far this week. Go on, Shem. Shem says need a VR check on Jose and his teams. Even Shemtan has got a green as well. So well done, Shem. But really, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that have got greens this week. Big up Jose with that thrashing. Oh, I don't know what thrashing. Oh, yeah, but there's 5 more games to go today, Drew. And I'm the only one at the moment in Predict the Prem that's in plus on goal difference. Everybody's minus goal differences. I'm still in plus. I can't believe it, but I still am in plus. Right, move, Chang. we go away now. International week. Yeah. International week. Next week, obviously. And as it goes, it's international week. Let me just put the banner up. Got to put the banner up so people are aware of next week what's happening. There we go. There's the banner. International week next week, Chang, which means that no Premiership football. What do we want from international week, Chang? Because when we return, we've got Aston Villa on the Sunday when we return. So it's 2 weeks today. We've got Villa. I'll be at that game. So what do we want next week or for the next 2 weeks? What do we want, mate?
The same thing I always say during any international break. I don't want any of our players returning with any injuries or niggles or even suspensions to hinder their club performance for us as soon as we resume once the international break is over. I mean, for all intents and purposes, yes, country before club, especially for those players who are looking to be with their respective countries for the World Cup. If this is your moment to shine for your country, and if that helps you get into the World Cup squad come next summer, I'm all for it. But please, 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 for everyone's sake, come back fit and firing. We don't want you picking up any injuries on your international duties. And yeah, I really hope that they enjoy themselves. But as soon as the international break is over, it's back to the drawing board. It's back to all hands on board, and all hands to the pump as we pick up from where we left off yesterday at Ellen Road, back at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, as you mentioned earlier, Jose against Aston Villa, and if some of these players can even carry on with their goal scoring form for their respective countries, like Kudus, for example, or even Xavi Simons, if he can get a goal or even an assist or two whilst on duty for the Netherlands, then he should be able to translate that to a club form when he returns. But I wish those players all the very best in their respective international fixtures, and may they come back uninjured and ready for us to pick up where we left off. Having said that, back to you, Senor Garcia.
Tigaro said night all. Now, I can't believe this, Ty. Back to back, the Lions win the AFL back to back. He says he's been partying. Where's the rock and roll gone? You're going to bed already, Ty. I thought you said you were celebrating, Ty. I thought you said you were celebrating the victory, the back to back for the Lions. And you're going to bed? That's not rock and roll, is it, mate? That's not rock and roll. But thank you very much, Tigaro. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you for being here, and thank you for everything. Does anyone like international football? Student says, and Shemto says sometimes when Turkey are winning. For me, yeah, I echo with what Chang said. For me, yeah, all we want is the players that haven't been selected, which is quite rare to have players that don't get selected. Because even if players are not full internationals, they play for their unders, the 21s, the 20s, the 18s, the 19s. We will have a lot of players. We will have a lot of players that go on international duty. However, there are some that won't go on international duty. And with the players that don't go on international duty, I hope that they build up strength, conditioning during the 2-week break, and that they get fitter or fitter to their returns, and that. So people like Kola Mwani, Kota Takai, people like that to get fitter. Someone like Solanke to get fitter and to be closer to a return. But then also as well for the players that we've not had for a while, in the sense of Kulusevski, Madison, and the Romanian centre half that we've got. His name escapes me, but hopefully they're out of sight and out of mind at the moment. But they'll be 2 weeks closer in their recoveries for whenever they return back. Dragusin, from whenever they return back. So I wish them all well during the next 2 weeks. and and then come back fully fit and roll on to play Villa at home, which should be a good game. Right, before we shoot off, I'm just going to remind people, it says there at the bottom, so you're all aware, next week is International Game Week. And during International Game Week, we do predictions, bumper predictions, and these will be over 2 days. So if you're not going to be able to watch the show live, make sure you get them into the chat after the shows. The games won't be till Saturday, but I'm doing the games early because it seems to work out for people, because sometimes the people down under who are playing this competition don't get to see the shows because of the time the shows go out, and it gives them time. If I do it on a Friday, I'm trying to steer clear of Fridays if I can, because if I do it on a Friday, it doesn't give them much chance if there's an early game. So I'm doing them earlier. So next week, it will be split into 2. I'll be doing 12/13 games on Wednesday, and I'll do 12/13 on Thursday. And that will be the 24 or 25 games that we'll do for next week. So please tune in. If not, get them in. If you're a member, get them in after after the shows. As for next week, I'm not sure whether we'll do a show next week. We'll play it by ear, Chang, but we might have to, because I can't do one on the day for Villa because I'll be going to the game, so I won't be in 2 weeks. I'll be at the game, but we may well do one next week. We might catch up with what's happening in the international break and just see if there's any Tottenham news during the week. But as always, Chang, thank you very much for coming here today.
If anything, thank you for having me back, Jose. It's been a while since we just did this, and we couldn't have picked up. We couldn't have found a better time to pick up where we left off with this much needed away win against Leeds United at Ellen Road. Again, for us to finally break their long unbeaten streak for over a year, and I believe it's their first defeat of this calendar year as well at Ellen Road. So for us to also break our hoodoo of not winning away, or rather not winning a game before the international break, I'm glad we broke that as well. But still lots of work to be done. But I'm glad that we are on the right path. We are on the right track to, being a force to be reckoned again under Thomas Frank. And before we end the show, I also like to give a quick shout out to Yang Min Hyuk, who's really banging it in for Portsmouth. I've just seen him bang in another cracker of a goal for Pompey in their game last night. So good for him, good for Yang Min Hyuk. He's found his way to endear himself to the Pompey faithful. I hope that he will come back a better player for us as well, now that we've already lost an Asian, or rather a Korean superstar in Sun Heung-min. Hopefully Yang Min Hyuk would be that new Korean superstar for us in time to come. And thank you so much to everybody, regardless of where you may be tuning on, from Britain, from Europe, from down under, from Asia, or even from the Americas. Thank you so very much for being here with us. Have yourselves a fantastic end to the weekend. I look forward to seeing each and every single one of you when we do resume with our next episode of Jose and Chang. And with that, Chang over and out from Southeast Asia. Having said that, back to you again, Jose.
Archer says, just a thought, what happened to your previous background on the stream, Jose? It looked like a studio. Yeah, you can change your effects all the time, and I just changed it for today. I just thought, nah, I can't be asked too much colour. So I changed it for today. Now, sponsors for today's show was Tel, who gifted out 10 channel memberships. I gave out 10 on Thursday. I gave out 10 today. Tigaro also gifted 5 channel memberships. So 15 channel memberships were gifted today. So if you're a lucky recipient, then it means that you can take part in predictions if you so wish, or come and join us. Come and see the community. Come and see who's around. And then you've got Blaine, 5-month member chat. Thank you very much, Blaine. Tigaro for 13-month member chat. Thank you very much, Tigaro. And Drula, her 13-month member chat, says thank you for a wonderful show. No, thank you, Drula. Thank you for everyone that's tuned in. I wish you all the very best. Have a really, really good remainder of your Sunday. Those that are finishing a Sunday, those that are starting out on a Sunday, and those that are doing early Monday. I wish you all the very best, and I shall see you all next Wednesday. And as always, it's
Come on, you Spurs.
Take care, everyone. Bye bye.
Tell. Cockerel, he's just a true guy. You'll have a true time. Tell. Cockerel, leave your troubles at the door. You know the game, you know the score. We're here to have fun, so holster that gun and read the writing on the wall. The predictions leak, done every week. It just goes on and 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 on. Why do I always get it wrong? Tell, Cockerel, he's just a chill guy. You'll have a chill time. Tell, Cockerel. Jose gets himself around, always talking Spurs wherever he is found, home or away. He always tips to win, throws the form book in the bin with a cheeky knowing grin. Tell, Cockerel, he's just a chill guy. You'll have a chill time. Tell, Cockerel. The Predictions League, done every week. It just goes on and on and on and on. Why do I always get it wrong? Every time I play along. Tell, Cockerel, the show is so chilled, your time is well filled. If you want good friendly chat, then here's where it's at. Tell, Cockerel. It just goes on and 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 on. Why do I always get it wrong? Tell, Cockerel, the show is so chill, your time is well filled. If you want good friendly chat, then here's where it's at.